Hello everybody, welcome back to Banta Music. Today we're going to break down a pibroch into a manageable piece of music that you can play even if you are just learning the scale or have just learned the scale and need a little bit of a challenge. You'll notice that the first line of the little spree has been watered down so it's just the notes. There's no grace notes, there's just notes and their values. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the first line of this tune the way that I have laid it out on the sheet music here. The next two lines that you'll notice in the second line, I've added in some grace notes that are in the piece, and then the third line, I've added in I've kept the grace notes in there and added in the grips. And if you're not sure how to play those, I have a video on grips on the channel, so you can check that out before attempting the third line if desired. So we're going to play the first line of this, and if you're unsure about how to play it, I'll play the first line and then we'll all play it. We'll start working on it. So first line. Now, if you've heard pibroch play before, that's going to probably sound a little bit on the weird side. But for the purposes of this video and learning how to begin a pibroch on an easy level, where it hopefully won't seem as cumbersome, this will be a one way that you can learn how to play without feeling overwhelmed. So with this, on the first line, you'll notice that there are some notes, like in the third bar, where you have two E's that are next together. So that's why when I was playing E, I would bring down the chanter so you could tell when the second note was actually supposed to be played. So the first line, we'll go bar by bar. So on the first bar, you start with the low A, and at the end of that bar, you end on a B. So you'll notice that about halfway through the bar, there is a 16th note B. That one is going to be shorter than the next note C. So let's play the first bar. Okay, with me so far? Let's do that again, and then we're going to play the next two notes on the B and the C. Okay, and then the next note in the bar is a B, and that ends the bar. So go straight for the low A. So if you've heard this tune played, it sounds pretty familiar, right? But because we've watered it down to just the notes, it is going to sound a little bit weird, but this will help folks if they haven't learned how to play some of the more complicated movements down below. So let's go on to the second bar. And this one, again, has the shorter C at the near the end of the bar. So let's start on the low A for second bar. Let's try that again. So it should be fairly simple because you're really just playing notes. If you have only just started learning the scale, this will be a bit of a challenge. Could be a challenge. So if it is a little bit of a challenge, take it slow. It doesn't have to be that fast. It could even be half the speed. Do the speed that feels comfortable for you, and then bring the speed up once you've gotten used to the notes. Okay, let's go on to the third bar. And with the two E's, You can even add in the grace note tap that you see in the same bar on the second line. You can add that in if you want to, that's up to you. For those who haven't learned how to play grace notes yet, we'll simply bring the chanter down for the next E. On the B. Oh, I messed that up, so one more time on the B. So hopefully you were able to know between the first E and the second E. So those are the first 3 bars, and let's go on to the 4th bar. Then you have the shorter B down to the A. Let's play that bar one more time. So as the first line, or the first line of the ground, or the first section of the tune. The first section of a pibroch is called the ground. So a little tidbit for you there. Let's start adding in some grace notes in the second line of this tune. Now remember, this is the first line of the tune, but I've just added in the grace notes and then some other stuff like I mentioned. So let's start at the beginning of the second line, and we'll start adding in the grace notes. At the beginning, you may think, "Oh, I have to play the first low A like this." You don't have to do that. You can simply go right as you blow into the chanter. You can raise the F G grace note finger. Okay, so let's try that out on the low A. So if you're not used to playing grace notes, that may seem a little cumbersome. If you feel like just watching from here, that is absolutely fine. And if you feel comfortable playing along with me, then do so as well. Let's try again from the low A. Okay. Let's go on to the next bar, down to low A. So remember, we got to make that second C shorter than the rest of the notes because it is a 16th note. It's half the value of an 8th note, which every other note is except for the very ending E, which is a quarter. So from the low A again. So hopefully you're doing okay right now, and if you're having issues with this, you can send me an email through my website or leave a comment down below. There's no judgment here. We're all going to learn at a certain pace, but do whatever makes you feel comfortable and feels the best for you. 3rd bar from the B. So there you notice that we've added in the grace note on the second E so that we can tell the difference between the first E and the second E. In the first line, we couldn't do that. We had to bring the chanter down, right? So let's try from the B again. And last bar, same thing. Now this next one might be a little bit more tricky because the grace note falls on the B, which is the cut note. So let's try just the cut note down to the low A. Now this might be a little bit more challenging for some, so just watch if you're unsure of how to do it. One more time. Now let's try from the beginning of that bar on the C. Now, if you feel like going over that bar again on your own, feel free to do so. You can always pause this video or go back whenever you choose. That's the beauty of YouTube. So now we're going to go on to the third line, and you'll notice that I've added in some C grips. Now, if you haven't learned how to play C grips yet, that is fine. They're not too difficult to play. So there are videos online that you can find, and I believe I have one on my channel. If not, leave a comment down below that I don't have one, because I sometimes lose track of what I have. And if there's not one down there, then just let me know and I'll make a new one ASAP. We'll go on to the low, first low A, and we'll play the grip on the C and so forth. So start from the low A. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2. So when you're playing those grips, ensure that you're bringing out the nice low G. So I'm adding just a little bit more to exaggerate just a little bit, but really bring out the nice low G on those, because when you do that on the pipes, you'll hear it a lot better. So on to the second bar. One more time. Okay, and then the next bar is pretty much the replica of the second line. So we'll play that through a couple times, and then we'll go on to the last bar. And apologies, I made that second grace note just a little bit too tight, so I'll play it one more time. Second time. And last bar. On the C. Probably should have put a little bit more low G on that grip, so we'll try it second time again. So that is the first line of the ground of the little spree. I will have the sheet music up on my website under resources or media, whichever one it is. I'm currently working on redoing my website a little bit for appearances, so everything's a little bit easier to find. So I'll let you, right now the old website is up, so you can take a look at where it, I believe it's under resources. So take a look under there. It will be up there soon. And if you have any questions about what I've done here, if you need a little bit of clarification, please send me an email through the website or leave a comment down below, and I'll respond to it as soon as I can. I hope that this was helpful for you. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.